Okay, we continue. The four questions that you have to ask yourself or the planner before you build a protected area is: first is the size of population in the area required to support or known as carrying capacity. Okay, so if the number of people or population that will go to the protected area is big, the space also need to be big, and also the resource also need to be in a large amount. So that that why you have to ask first what is the size of population that will visit the protected area. Second is the size of protected area itself. Okay, so in the whole area you have to protect some of the area, so you have to know what is the sum of the area that you want to protect. Okay, not all the area is important to be protect, so you have to protect maybe half of the area or 3/4 of the area. So you have to know the size of protected area first. Third is the connectivity. In order for you to protect a place, you have to have a accessibility or connectivity from outside world to go to the protected area. Okay, and lastly is the shape of the area. So you have to discover and analyze what is the shape: irregular, mountainous, or just a tropical jungle, or a very wet area. So you have to know the shape of the area itself. Okay, so next we will go to the subchapter 2, that is governance and joint management. Okay, so governance and governments is two different things. It's so different. Okay, government is the one who will do the governance. Okay, the act of government is governance. Okay, so you can see the governance can be defined as regulatory process, mechanism, and organization through which people influence action and outcome. Okay, so the government itself will act, that is known as governance, in influencing what the people will do to the place. Okay, for example, governance strongly influence the effectiveness. Okay, so why governance influence the effectiveness in protecting the area? Something like that. Okay, example, if governance that want to do by governments is protecting the jungle area, so it will build a structure of management that will take place to protect the area. So that is the governance. Okay, so governance is not only act solely by government, it must have a collaboration with someone else. For example, community, business, and non-government organization. Okay, so this is the example of the place that governs by governments under the governance of government itself. Okay. For example, you can see a national park. Okay, that resource ownership is owned solely by governments. Income resource, how to sustain the national park is taxes from all of us. Okay, so management body that protect is government agency. For example, is US National Park Service. So how about a place that is not really owned by a government? For example, is aboriginal places. For example, in Pahang, there are one aboriginal people that is known as orang asli batik. So they are managed by the governments, with the help of governments, but also the orang asli itself have to help themselves and to gain their own resource, how to survive. Okay, that why you have to be a survivor. The orang asli have to survive on by their own, beside relying on the government. Okay, okay, so next we will learn what is joint management. Okay, so joint management is commonly referred as a sharing responsibility by indigenous people and government agency. So this just like collaboration, okay, between the people at the place itself. The indigenous people is known as the people that stay in a place, they own the place. Okay, and also government. So that is joint management. Okay, so joint management is one of the popular strategy right now, because the government itself cannot manage a place without the collaboration with the people that stay at the place, the residential. Okay, so they have to involve all the people to make a decision with the government, so that the decision that they make is agreeable. Okay, so I think joint management also include board of management with majority membership from the aboriginal people, and also statutory management plan, maybe from the government itself. Okay, so next we will learn, on the third subject we will learn zoning. Okay, so if you can see, uh, in a destination or in a country there are a zone. This is, for example, okay, so Kuching center is residential zoning. So on the back of the Kuching we will regard it as protected area, protected zoning. So you cannot build any building there. So some of the place we can make them as a business zone. So this is what mean by zoning. Okay, so we have to define what is zoning first. So zoning involves recognizing smaller unit or zone within in the area, each with prescribed level of environmental protection and certain level of type of public use. Okay, so not all the area is suitable for building a residential. Not all the area is suitable for a business purpose. Not all the area that we can protect. So we have to do the zoning. So you can see in a country, a successful country, they will zone a place. So for example, in KL, all the place where is the business zone is on the center of KL. So near the center of KL, there are hutan Bukit Nenas. So that is the protection zone for the environment. Okay, so this zoning, what is the purpose of this zoning? This is the smaller purpose. We will go to the bigger purpose after this. So protecting the natural environment, because we want to protect the natural environment. We don't want all the place with fully with building. So we have to protect one smaller zone so that it will be an environmental zone. Okay, second is providing a range of recreation and tourism properties. Some of the place is suitable for tourism and have opportunity for tourism. So we zone the place so that it will be a tourism places. So how about the protected area? Protected area is not suitable for tourism. So we zone it as protected area and tourism will not be done at the area. Okay, so this is range of zoning. So because just like I said before, maybe some area is full with plants, some area is full with buildings. So zone range from primitive. Primitive mean there are no facilities, little encounter with people, only animal, something like that, or there are no accessibility. So that is first the least zone. Okay, the highest zone is known as developed area, which mean have extensive of facilities such as resort, accessible is very good, have very mode of transport is various, something like that. Okay, so next will be what is the purpose, the bigger purpose of the zone. So the first purpose, you can see zoning used to clarify future intention. Just like I said before, some of the places have the opportunity to build to be a tourism places. So you have to know that this kind of opportunity will help the people recognizing the place can be a future tourism places, something like that. Okay, so this protected area cannot be cannot be developed as tourism places. So the future attention of this area will be a protected area. Okay, and second is zoning used to protect the natural environment from damaging use by the visitor, and also I have mentioned it. And lastly is zoning used to identify the potential of the area, because some of the area have their own potential. For example, this area is very full with greens, a lot of animal habitat. We can protect it, or you can build a tourism in it, but ecotourism, sustainable kind of tourism. So by doing the zoning, we know that all the potential of the area. Also, when we do the zoning, we will do research at the area, so we know what is the potential. Okay. So fourth is site management action, because we don't want our site or tourism site will be destroyed, so we have to manage it. Okay, so how we manage it? Okay. Okay, so site, we have two kind of site, or include in the consist of two things, that is linear transport corridor, or known as mode of transport. For example, bridge. Okay, and also railroad, highway, that is known as a linear transport corridor. To go to a places, we need a linear transport corridor. So all the things that I mentioned before, for example, railway, highway, all the thing is known as linear transport corridor. And the end of the linear transport corridor known as terminus. Terminus is end of destination. So where the linear transport corridor will head it is terminus. Okay, the end of the linear transport corridor. For example, if you want to go a resort, you have to use the linear transport corridor in order to go to the terminus, that is the resort. For example, picnic area, water body, the coastline, that is known as terminus, the end destination, the end of your journey. Okay. um Next is site management action. So how you want to properly manage a place. For example, the first action is locating use for tourism in a more durable part of landscape and destination. Some area is very fragile, some area is durable, some area is very vulnerable, and some area is invulnerable. So in order to protect the area, we have to know which place is vulnerable, which place is invulnerable, which place is fragile, which place is not fragile. Okay, so we will locate we will try to allocate the tourism activity in a more vulnerable area, in a more not fragile area. Okay, because we know that if we put the tourists in the fragile area, it will destroy the places. For example, fragile area is wetland, a place that full with animals, a place with full of habitat, a place with full of unique plants. Okay, so we will prevent all the trampling effect. We will prevent all the damaging of the ecosystem by doing this thing. Okay, so second is designing and managing site and associate facility to be more sustainable. Sustainable practice will always be solution for a site. So you have to put a more sustainable environment or architecture toward a site, so that it will not destroy the site itself. Okay, for example, if you build a hotel in the middle of the jungle, you have to use a renewable resources, or you use a sustainable way to build the hotel. That is the way how to manage site, properly manage a site. So third action is enhance visitor understanding of the area value and also issue. This is known as education. So we want to educate the people that come to the places. This place is very valuable and also fragile. So you have to be a responsible tourist in order to protect this area. So this more like education platform. Okay. And fifth is visitor management action. So just like I said before, we are managing the site. So right now is we managing the people that come to the site. Okay, what is the thing that we can do? Okay, so we will continue it in part 2. Okay, thank you.